You know what I'm not really a fan of? Ending explained channels. After my first time watching I'm Thinking of Ending Things, I cheerfully accepted the idea that I wasn't meant to rationalize it. It was something that someone was absolutely bound to try and make a pithy ending explained video about where they lay out the nuts and bolts plotting of it, but it really wouldn't be achievable meaningfully. I'd caught bits of analysis and conversation before I'd put on the movie about how some things don't have to be rationalized or pathologized, and how movies don't always have to be logical experiences that you can parse out that way. After seeing that, I wanted this movie to be inexplicable. I wanted to feel with confidence that anyone who bothered to try and create a timeline of events would look stupid doing so. Then I had to go and get curious about how people felt about the movie and look it up on TV tropes and find out that it was a book first. Then, rationalizing the movie became easy. Maybe I'm still right. Man, part of me hopes I'm right. Another part of me doesn't want to look stupid. This must be how so many film critics feel. This must be how Callum feels. You know what? I honestly don't. What? It's 5:12.
Yeah.
Why?
What do you mean, why? That's how the passage of time works.
No, I'm pretty sure that I was just over here washing dishes in the sink. Oh. Oh. I'm Thinking of Ending Things is a movie about a guy dying. This guy, Jake, is a sad, lonely, pathetic old man who works as a janitor at his old high school. As he dies, he dreams of being younger, of taking his girlfriend to meet his parents. His girlfriend, an unnamed woman, based partially off some girl Jake pestered into giving him her phone number, and partially off the tsundere protagonist in some sickeningly sweet fake Robert Zemeckis movie he's watched. She recites poems written by him, she appears as him in his childhood photographs, he can hear her internal monologue, she receives warnings from other quote unquote characters meant for him, and when they talk about movies, she lapses into full on recitations of film reviews that Jake has undoubtedly read. Jake's parents are.
Caricature.
What?
Caricature.
Okay, caricatures, thank you. Caricatures of the people they probably were in real life, bouncing from as young as he can remember them ever being to on their deathbed all over the course of a single visit. This is because Jake never truly had a girlfriend, and this woman and his parents exist solely as figments, as things that he would like to remember being that way. All of this makes things so easy for Jake to control, to a point. Jake doesn't want to die, you see, obviously, so he does everything he can to stay in this bubble that he's constructed, even as his girlfriend insists throughout the movie on leaving town, going back to her own house, and breaking up with Jake. All of this a pretense for Jake's own mind, trying to force him to accept entropy, to move forward with the passage of time. In reality, Jake is just a lonely, dying man using the last of his strength to clean and close up the halls of the school one last time. While in his mind, even more idealized versions of himself and the woman find that their fictional relationship succumbs to Jake's own age, personified as his, well, seemingly true janitorial self. Jake gets in his car, strips himself naked in the middle of a blizzard, and dies to the fantasy of himself going out with a poignant speech and song number right out of A Beautiful Mind. The speech, not the song. Say, do you think the Robert Zemeckis thing was originally meant to be Ron Howard? And whatever. The point is, it's simple. Simple, straightforward, perfectly rational narrative. A terrible thought occurred. Maybe our weird online cultural obsession with rationalizing and exploring and compartmentalizing art isn't cultural. Maybe it's instinctive. Maybe the human mind is more machine-like than any of us want to believe. Maybe art, and by extension art criticism, aren't the bastions of emotional purity and expression we want them to be. Maybe they are And our attempt at pushing against our programming, our attempt to be something we're not. Maybe our problem with approaching and analyzing films isn't the problem.
But CinemaSins suck, though.
Oh, but CinemaSins still sucks, though. But maybe it's just two fundamentally human instincts vying for dominance, and people like me are just mad that the side that embraces and exploits people's need for rationality is the side that gets rewarded. Hell, even movies that aren't dreams within their own narrative can be dismissed on a meta level, undone by their nature as attempts at a thing. We don't try to have the dreams we do. I, at least, don't. I don't know how it is for other people. Film is always a matter of constant effort, which negates any film's attempts to be truly dreamlike, you could say. I don't know, maybe I'm just thinking about it too hard. Maybe this is just one movie that a bunch of us wanted to avoid having to rationalize as a dream, because we want film to be this medium where we can convey a dream experience without having to frame it like one. Maybe this only matters to me because I only started remembering my own dreams like 2 weeks ago. Am I making any sense? How much of this argument am I gonna want to remember? Maybe it's easier to pretend I never thought about this movie after I watched it. That I just put it on and let it wash over me and then started playing Super Mario Odyssey and never questioning it again. Or maybe I can accept that in the end we're rational and emotional creatures. There's no art that's incapable. Incapable? Incapable?
Incapable.
Right, thank you. Incapable of expressing emotion, and no art that's incapable of engendering a quest for rationality. It really does vary from person to person and film to film. The degree to which you want or need these things to matter, to be conscious. So I guess in the end I was right all along. Yay!